Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So here I'm watching if the decline is over. I mean, since we hit our target, the last target, it already rallied around about 3.5% within a day. It's not massive given, but not given that we have CPI today, not a surprise because the market was rather quiet. I think we're just waiting for the data today. But it is going up. But I'm watching, is this correction really over? At the moment, the move up is clearly still not impulsive. It doesn't look impulsive. I mean, surely you could count a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, but it doesn't really adhere to what we want to see. It doesn't really do what we need to see. For example, problems that we have here. If I am taking this, you can see that the what would be a third wave hasn't even reached the 1-to-1 ratio. So I can really not count this. It hasn't even reached the 1-to-1 and not even the 1.618. So I can't even count this leg up the third wave. So I can't count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I could. I think if I was in a very simple way using just the targets, the rules of Elliott Wave, but it's not only about that, right? It's also about, what you see, the experience. But then if I go to the lower degree wave count here, the 5-minute, you can see that actually here, this is another leg. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This here in itself is corrective. It looks like an A wave. So you don't really have a clear impulse at this stage. You don't really have a complete 5-wave move. You probably could make it work with a lot of brain power here, but then if you need to do that, it's often not correct, or at least not high confidence. So anyway, I'm open to the idea this is turning around. It hit our target. Very open to the idea. The problem is that this is not yet clearly impulsive, and we just need the evidence, right? We need the evidence. Good evidence that this correction is over will be obtained if we break above the 1548 level, the wave 4 high, and even better if we break above this high at 1600. I know that's far away, but that's why I always say, we don't wait for confirmation when we trade the Elliott waves. That's often a misunderstanding. A lot of people think, you have to wait until the wave is confirmed that you can trade. No, that's not the case. You don't wait for confirmation. Otherwise everybody would know what wave it is. It's not about that. It's about identifying the turning points. I think we grabbed a turning point here, really, really good. And all my entries for Ethereum are now in profit. And anybody who entered with me, and I did enter here pretty much at the low around 1474, I think it was, and 1500. So anybody who entered with me, you can now decide, do you take partial profits? If you entered with leverage or whatever, do you move up your stop loss? Or do you just let it run? I let it run in this case at the moment. But yeah, it's starting to look good, starting to look interesting. I mean, you can even, we had this descending wedge on the chart. The breakout was the first signal it would be going up. But at the moment, the move up is really only in 3 waves. You could probably construct into this a 5-wave move, but then only as a leading diagonal. If it's a leading diagonal, it needs proof. And if I wanted to count this as a wave 1 of the next higher wave up, then I would need to wait for the wave 2. So if we now come down, and make a higher low, so we would need to hold the 78.6 Fib retracement. For example, we need to hold now 1476. Whatever it's doing, it needs to hold 1476 to still be very much in favor of further upside. But at the moment, I can tell you it's not a classical impulse which is evolving here. So I am still on the lookout for either maybe sideways action or just corrective further action to the upside, what Bitcoin is doing at the moment, by the way, as well. So especially difficult to read on a day like this. But sometimes it's not so important to really look into the micro count. I sometimes just do this for informational purposes. That's why I often highlight micro counting is often fragile, and However, a lot of people want to learn Elliott Wave as well and want to understand the principles, but then you need to understand that micro level waves often need to be changed because it's not too reliable, often distortions on the lower waves. And what is better is to look at a decent level, like here the 1 hour that we normally use, 1 hour, 30 minutes, to look at the pivot points here and trade these. You could go into the micro, could go into the 5 minute, try to figure out, what wave it is, but you see all sorts of funny stuff on the lower levels. And the question is always, are you interested in the super academic Elliott Wave? Obviously, we don't want to break any rules, but are you interested in the super academic Elliott Wave? Or are you interested in the Elliott Wave that's based on experience and where you can actually make money with? And that's what we all are interested in. So I try to share a bit of both, but just be aware that just trying to count the waves on the 1 to 5 minute charts, it's often a bit less reliable. But so far this move worked out, but it's just that we now need to see, does it create an impulse? So for anybody who entered now can just lean back and watch if we break above the wave 4 high, would be great. And then we've got the 15, or let's call it, the $1,600 level to confirm, because then we break above the resistance for the wave 4. It could theoretically still be some kind of an A, B, maybe a triangle. I explained that in the Bitcoin video, that you get here an A, B, C, D, E running triangle, that the wave 4 will actually be here, and we will eventually still come down and have a 5th wave here. That's still possible as well. I don't know, it's unlikely because we did come down so much, but it's still a possibility, especially if the move to the upside does not develop into an impulse. Okay, that's sort of what I'm looking at here today. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.